talking. I have two guests joining me to do this. The Chief Executive Officer of the Major Energies Marketers Association of Nigeria, Mr. Clement Isong, joins me live from Lagos, and also the Chairman of MEMAN, who's also the Managing Director NNPC Retail Limited, Mr. Hope Stockman. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining the program. It's good to have you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tony.
Yes, let me start from Abuja, Mr. Stockman. I would like to start with you. We've heard back to back that there is enough supply to last for 30 days. But the challenge at first was logistics issues. That's what we heard. Can you give us an insight into what really are these issues? Because as of today, I can tell you the queues are still very long.
So, thank you very much for the question. I think I said before that the logistical chain or the supply chain in Nigeria is very fragile at times. It's very complicated. And there's only small things need to go wrong in order to basically cause some disruption. I've got actually for you today a perfect example of that. A vessel ran aground at the Escravos Channel a couple of days ago. And as we speak, there are 5 empty vessels that delivered fuel to let's say the Warri area and the Kokogera area, stuck and cannot get out of the Escravos through the Escravos Channel, while 2 vessels laden with product are waiting to go through the Escravos Channel. Now, this has already been lingering for a couple of days. It was resolved yesterday, but that doesn't mean that the queues of vessels immediately is gone. But it means that basically you've got 7 vessels that are carrying close to 150 million liters of PMS. It can either not load again to get to bring the next cargo in, or 2 that cannot deliver that cargo. And it just shows you how complex at times the supply chain is in Nigeria, where a small thing, or well, what you could call a small incident, i.e. a vessel that runs aground in the Escravos Channel, causes a disruption down the whole value chain.
Interesting. But let me ask Mr. Isong now this question. Now, what MEMAN members, what have you been doing? What do you have to sell? Of course, when your filling station is wet, that is what you will dispel. But with what has happened with this shortage, how can MEMAN come in to help address this trend? Talking about the movement of the products, and you get to your depot and retail outlets, and of course getting to Nigerians. What role are you playing in helping soften this suffering, let me put it that way, that Nigerians are facing?
Thank you, Tolu. So let me say, the advantage we have is that we share logistics in Apapa. That's an excellent platform to work from. We call it the Apapa Hub. All our members have depot facilities in Apapa. So logically, over time, we have learned to work together for the efficiency of the Apapa Club, of the Apapa Hub. So when we have scarcity like this, and because we know ourselves, we're an old association, I think we were the first, we share not just logistics, but products. We do what you call product swaps. So if I run dry in my depot, I can go and pick from another MEMAN company depot. And later, when I have product, I can give him back the product that I took from him. The advantage this gives us is that we are able to focus on keeping all our stations wet. We have key stations in key sites in all the key cities, all the urban areas in Nigeria. So if we can keep our about 3,000 stations wet, we think we can, and of course we have a very efficient system of transportation. We've been working with our transporters, so many of us own our own trucks. So we are able to get our products out of our depots and to our stations efficiently, and we are able to share facilities. We also live together, either from the NNPC retail TSL depot in Port Harcourt or the Conroy depot in Port Harcourt. We share logistic facilities, and by doing this, we're able to support each other And in this particular case, we're working late. All the depots are starting early today. We didn't start early because 1st of May, there had to be some stock taking detail. But we work late. We have been working late. We worked late yesterday. We worked late. We worked throughout the weekend, worked on Saturday, worked on Sunday, and at our depots and at our filling stations, those that can open safely will open for as long as they can, so that they can, we do what we can to kill the queues. The objective is to break the back of this queue before the end of this week.
What Memman is saying is available to be trucked out at the moment. Can we also stay on that?
You want to take that?
Yeah, so to give you an example, we've trucked over 700 trucks yesterday as Memman members to all the various stations. And I think what we try to do is basically slowly push it back. So you make sure that state by state you eradicate the queues. Look, we are of course Lagos and Port Harcourt based. Most of our members. There are also ones that actually load in the Delta area, and we basically you make sure that it's the closest by, so it's easiest to quickly get the truck there, turn it around, load it again, and truck it out again. And basically, start sending trucks up the country. So basically, what you're trying to do is slowly push it back, and basically over the next couple of days, you'll see Lagos. I arrived in Abuja. I don't know for what I can see, the queues there are going down. So, and what you do the same with Abuja. You use Abuja basically as another, let's say, center to basically push out the queues away and eradicate them around Abuja, and keep on going doing that. So basically, I think if we keep on loading good numbers of trucks, yeah, if we don't have any supply disruptions, with the example that I gave you, then I cannot see. The data just tells me that the queue should go down in the next coming days. Just what the data tells us.
Mr. Stockman, let me follow up and ask you. It seems like, and I like your views on this very sincerely, like NNPC is struggling to meet the requirements of the market. Talking about pricing, which many say is failing to reflect present realities.
Well, I think we look at it slightly different, and I think Clement said it also yesterday. Any country, look, the prices have been deregulated in Nigeria, and you can see that at the pump because there are many different prices going in the pump. We as NNPC retail have said we're not changing our prices, but we look at it from the point of view that any government can decide to intervene. And I use the example of what happened after Russia invaded Ukraine, where gas prices went through the roof. And to protect basically the consumer, many governments intervened in the gas price to make sure that there was a bit of a cushion and a soft landing. Now, I think it's the full right of any government to intervene and decide for how long they do it. I think in the UK, for instance, an example, again, they're slowly going down in terms of the interventions that they've done in terms of the gas prices. So that's how I would explain it.
Okay, interesting. Let me ask Mr. Isong the same question, but maybe in another way. Mr. Isong, I want to ask you that some say the scarcity is a mix of politics and economics. That's what some are saying. And some also say there is a form of intervention from government. I don't want to use the word subsidy payment, but there's a form of intervention at this time because ideally, they said the price of PMS and diesel should almost be the same.
Okay, I don't know if they will always be the same, but it is true that there is an intervention, and that is not hidden. The president said openly in his speech that the prices will stay more or less the same. By saying that, he gave an instruction, and essentially, those that are importing the products have kept the price the same. So all of us that buy products, when we go and we take it at the vessel, the price that we get is the same price. Now, because the price is deregulated, there is a cost for shipping it from the vessel into the depot. There's a throughput cost in the depot. There are NPA charges, which are in dollars, and IMASA charges, which are in dollars. And so these dollars, wherever you get them, however you get them, that influences your price. And from the depot to your filling station, there's a cost. Again, how you manage your transportation, some people manage it more efficiently than others, there is a cost. And so the prices from filling station to filling station are different. But for NNPC, which is one of our members, they are able for other reasons to keep their price pretty much the same. But we all buy at the same price that we have been buying once the product became deregulated in, was it May, June last year? That's the price we buy from NTL, NNPC Trading Limited. Have I answered your question, Tolu?
Yes, you have. But let me follow up and now ask you, Mr. Isong, I'm staying with you for now. What does this mean for the implementation of our PIA, which we've talked about, should open up the market, attract investments and all?
Okay, so we have been consistent, and we will stay consistent. The market, we do not like a single supplier situation. I don't think anybody likes a single supplier situation. Even NNPC do not like to be a single supplier. All the NOCs everywhere in the world don't like to be single suppliers. However, in the PIA, there is a section that names NNPC as the supplier of last resort. So if we are struggling in managing our exchange rate, and the challenge is nobody else can import, NNPC is duty bound to import. That law also says that NNPC must be compensated by the government of Nigeria when it assumes that role. That is also in the PIA. So this is temporary. It will last, I don't know, until we are able to manage to stabilize the exchange rate. NNPC by law must guarantee energy security, must guarantee that supply, and the government must pay NNPC for that, according to the PIA. Until that happens, so this is actually envisaged by the PIA. It's not an ideal situation, but today is May 1st, it's May Day. We all know how challenging things are in the country. The president has decided that he doesn't want PMS prices to go up significantly as at now. And I think most Nigerians like that. How long it will last, I think they're trying to fix other parts of the economy. As soon as that is done, then the law already exists deregulating pump prices, and interventions are by their very nature temporary. I answered your question.
Yes, interesting. You've done that. Mr. Stockman, I also like your views regards to the implementation of the PIA. And of course, we talked about the pricing issue. And I like your views around these two issues. What do you think about this intervention? How sustainable is it? Because that has been the argument of some experts that NNPC cannot sustain this. So what do you think? How long are we going to continue this way until we fully deregulate this market?
I think I want to pick up on a couple of things that Clement said. First of all, the PIA fully basically describes the situation where we are in today. And there is an intervention. And by definitions, the interventions are not in perpetuity, and they don't last forever. But I think indeed the government is trying to solve a number of economic issues. And I think once they've solved them, they will create the space to fully basically deregulate the pricing. So you're asking me to look into a crystal ball when that will happen. But unfortunately, I don't have a crystal ball, so I couldn't tell you. But I want to make also very clear that I come from an environment, as you can see, my career was not my whole life in Nigeria. I love competition. I think it's in the interest of consumers to have competition, because then everybody needs to do their utmost to deliver great customer service. There's a check on prices. There is a check on making sure everybody gets what they pay for. Other services are being developed. So actually, I love competition, and I'll be quite honest. We're seeing actually after the PIA already some of that happening, but I would love to see even more competition going forward. As NNPC Retail, we have no interest of being a monopolist in this market. Yeah. Okay. By the heritage, we might be a big player, but from my perspective, I love competition.
That is good, because that is what we want, that market opened to competition. So before we talk about gas, because I'd like to touch on gas before I let you go, what will you be telling Nigerians at this time? It's really hectic. We are grappling with high inflation, high interest rates, high electricity tariff, and now we are buying PMS in some cases at above 1,000 naira. What are you going to tell us, Nigerians, now, and when should we expect that we would be able to drive into filling stations and get fuel?
Well, I think the whole industry, and I think what I like about Nigeria, when a challenge like this at the queues start, everybody comes together to resolve it and to eradicate it. And from the regulator, the NMDPRA, other governmental stakeholders, NARTO, PTD, all people that are competitors, but then we'll all work together to eradicate the queues, because we can see the frustration and the difficulties it causes for all Nigerians. And of course, there are people that might try to use these kind of situations to basically make extra money. Yeah, and I'm very open. We've got a customer care line. All our members have customer care lines. If somebody is what you would call, to say politely, naughty, please report them to the respective customer care line. Because I think in situations like this, we should not put more pain or more frustration on Nigerians. Yeah, what's on the MID should be charged. So, and as MEMA members, we're very committed to that. In terms of the queue, reducing the queues, there's a lot of volume coming into onshore, and I think that we fully expect that if we can keep on loading it out and we don't have these hiccups that I described earlier, we should see progress, real good progress by the end of the week in many areas.
Let me talk to Mr. Isong, and I'll come back to you, Mr. Stockman. Mr. Isong, we talked about other sources before now. LPG and all of that is what government has been looking at, other sources of fuel, so that this focus on PMS at least will reduce a little bit. Where are we? One time it was a decade of gas. We've been talking about all of this. How well is MEMAN also keen into all of this?
Okay, there's a good story there. There's a good story there. Let me start by Adova. Adova just opened their gas terminal. I think it's 20,000. It's the biggest gas terminal in Africa right now. That's LPG. So there's a big investment there. My members, many of them do LPG. Ever since the decade of gas started, the first product that people grabbed on was LPG. And we actually need to marvel at the amount of investments that have gone into LPG from then to date. Now, complementing that is the investment on CNG. That was a little bit different because we're starting from scratch, and it requires a different parallel line of infrastructure, pipelines, mother stations, daughter stations. It's quite expensive to do. So it appears as if people haven't actually seen the investments that have gone in, compression centers and everything. But all that is about to change. I can tell you, Hugh, I think is the best person to tell you his own, because they have made significant investments. Many of my members will roll out. Many of them have rolled out already, but the mass rollout you will begin to see in this month, May, that we are in. Let me also add that my CEOs, my members got together and said that the learning, the knowledge that is acquired from the rollout of CNG, we need to share with the industry, we need to share with Nigerians, because it's relatively new. The competencies do not really exist in the country. So we've created a competency center in the MEMA Secretariat, where all the learnings that we get from our members in the rollout of this product, we will share with the industry, we will share with Nigerians, which will aid the faster rollout of the product. But like I said, Hugh, because you are about to take off, you want to say something on that?
Yes, I think if I follow up on the CNG question, I think you will see the first CNG sites in Abuja and Lagos coming up from us, but not only from us, but also from Double One PLC together with their mother company NIPCO. And as you know, NIPCO has a JV with the NNPC Gas Marketing Limited company. So the three of us are already very advanced to put the sites on. NIPCO already had them, yeah. But we're adding to. But we as NNPC Retail will start now too in May, and so I would say watch this space. And also NIPCO and Double One PLC who's a member will also add sites to their network in May. So I would say, without going too far, but there's actually some real good movement, and it won't stop there. It will not stop there. We have a very clear plan for rollout of CNG, both for the commercial vehicles and the private vehicles going forward.
Final question for both of you. I want you to talk about refining. Dangote Refinery is already doing aviation fuel and diesel. We expect PMS soon. Port Harcourt Refinery, according to NNPC, will come on stream also very shortly. If that happens, what impact will it have on availability and maybe pricing? Let's round up on that note.
Clement, do you want to go first?
No, you go.
I think the refineries are an absolute brilliant idea and I think it's great that they're coming on stream. It actually allows the country to become less dependent. As I said before, the supply chain is complex in Nigeria. The moment you produce the product on your own shores, you take already a big part of that complexity away. And I think in that sense, in terms of supply security, they're absolutely the right thing for Nigeria to do. Yeah. In terms of price, there is going to be, of course, you saw it in diesel. And it's too early to talk about PMS because that's not being produced yet. But in terms of diesel, you saw immediately that some of the benefits of producing locally, i.e. the crew doesn't need to travel a long distance and the product itself doesn't need to come back to Nigeria. You can already see that some of these benefits were passed on to the market, and I think that is hopefully more to come. But I think it will always. So I think there's some really good green shoots there, and I think they will keep on developing.
Thank you, Mr. Isong.
Well, just to add to that. We have been engaging, we have been speaking with the management, with the guys at the refinery. A lot has been going on, a lot of work. Starting up a refinery it's not done in a day or 2 days or a week or 2 weeks. You need to keep bringing out the product, you test to make sure it reaches specification, you work side by side, in this case with the authority. You keep going, you keep working together until you reach your optimum level, and then you ramp up. So that's what has been going on, and I can tell you that we are very happy to have a refinery. We're very proud to have the Dangote refinery situated in Nigeria. But we're also quite happy that NNPC is bringing its own refineries back online, 3 of them. We're also happy with the model refineries that are also producing. The El Dorado is having Nigeria as a refining hub, because that is a self-supporting system in which these two will be in competition. There will be niches, there will be specialty products, there will be growth. It's all good for Nigeria. So we're extremely excited. Times are changing, and what marketers need to do, what the industry needs to do, is to be agile, to be solution seeking, and to be customer oriented. The market is changing. It's exciting times for my industry.
I must thank you so much, Chief Executive Officer, Major Energies Marketers Association of Nigeria, MEMAN, Mr. Clement Isong, and Chairman of Major Energies Marketers Association of Nigeria, also the MD, NNPC Retail Limited, Mr. Herb Stockman. Thank you for your time. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Tolu.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, indeed.